The top 10 dental money scams. Number 10, hiding the prices. This is one of the oldest tricks in the book. If you don't know, dentists like to hide their prices. Just go on any dental website and just try to find the prices. It's almost impossible. And that's because dentistry is insanely expensive. And any rational person that saw the prices would never go. But what they want to do is get you to go in person. And when you go in person in the office, they'll be super nice to you, they'll be friendly, they'll spend some time getting to know you and small chatting, and then they'll try to sell you on the way overpriced procedure. And because you're there in person and because they've been so friendly, you feel bad just walking out and not doing anything. It's a lot harder to do that than just not going in the first place. And they'll put a lot of pressure on you. And it's just similar to what they do with like timeshares. And that's why when I created our clinic here at the Smile Mission, I made sure to list all our prices online. At number 9, taking advantage of people in pain. I used to work for emergency dental office, and that's exactly their business model. It was disgusting. They would literally raise the prices on people in pain because they knew these people were desperate and they just wanted to get out of pain. So they were willing to pay anything. They'd sign up for third-party financing and sign their parents or their spouse and get them to kind of sign on it too, just so that they could meet the demand and the pay. And it just made the entire cycle terrible, and it was just frustrating because it's these people that are low income, barely making things meet, minorities, and they're exactly who this clinic preyed on. And what's even worse is this clinic has now expanded to many more offices around the country. At number 8, giving the fake discount. So many dental offices will say $1,000 off Invisalign, 25% off veneers, $750 off of braces. Well, there's a good chance that they just raise their prices to make up for that discount because you don't know what their prices are. And number 7, financing. Imagine you have 2 painful teeth. So you go to a dentist and you just want those 2 teeth removed. But when the dentist does his exam, he tells you that all your other teeth are bad. And then they ask you, well, do you want a Hollywood smile? Well, who doesn't want that? So of course you say yes. And then they take you into a private room where a person who specializes in selling things that you can't afford talks to you. And you don't have time to check Google reviews, you don't have time to check references, you don't have time to ask your friends, and they put so much pressure on you. And they say right now, instead of paying $250 a month, you can get a new Hollywood smile for just $200 a month. All you have to do is sign on this line. And this great sales pitch sounds great. And when you get home and you get the paperwork, you realize the terrible mistake you made. And this above situation was actually documented by Frontline PBS, and they did a story on it. But trust me, this was not the only time this happens. Actually, it happens every single day in many offices. And so what happened to this person was, instead of paying, they didn't say it was $8,000 procedure, they said it was $200. But what they didn't tell her, it was for over 5 years. So she's paying $12,000, over $4,000 just in interest. And that's if she makes all her payments on time. Because if she misses any payment, now it's gonna be around 30% interest. And people will sign without reading all the details. So the point of financing is, instead of telling somebody the total cost, because then they'll realize how expensive it is, they try to break it up and tell you what it is by month. And they'll even break it out to over 5 years, so it just doesn't sound that bad. And it's just a scam that dentists use to get patients to sign up. And number 6 is changing the prices. Now this one also really bothers me. First, I'm in total support of dental clinics that offer lower prices. This is obviously needed in today's world. If a dental office thinks they can do lower prices than my office and match the same service, that would be amazing, because that means more people are being treated, more people are getting the dental work that they need. And obviously, we need more affordable dental care. But it seems that every time a clinic offers low prices, they change the price as soon as the patient walks in. They're basically doing false advertising. But the way they try to get around not doing false advertising is they tell the patient, oh look, you're more complicated than the average patient. So you have to have this thing added, this thing added, this thing added. And no one holds them accountable. So they do that literally for every patient. And that's how they can advertise one price, but have the actual price be way higher. And just look at this. 2 of the people in a row writing about false advertising on this clinic. And number 5, making you pay for the consult before the prices. So at a lot of offices, they don't tell you the price until you have a consult. I was going around with a friend and I wasn't a dentist there, so I couldn't fix his tooth, and he had a tooth that was really hurting him. So we went from clinic to clinic asking how much is it to extract the tooth, or how much is it to do a filling or a root canal, and we tried to figure out the prices. And like every office wouldn't tell us. They would literally tell us, well, you need to do a consult first and see the doctor because it can really depend on the da-da-da-da. And we'd be like, well, can you give an estimate? Well, I really can't. You need to see the doctor first. Well, how much is a consult? Well, a consult and the x-ray is $150. So I'm like, we have to pay $150 before we can even know how much you're going to charge us for the actual procedure we want to have done? It was really frustrating. It bothered me a lot that it just felt like a complete scam. It was so frustrating, and hence why when I started my own office, we offer free consults. At number 4, giving options that are basically the same. So some dental offices will give you different options. They'll give you the most expensive, medium, and cheap option, and their entire goal is to get you to buy the most expensive option. But the crazy thing is that the most expensive isn't much better than the basic or simple option. Sometimes I can't even tell the difference. Actually, I couldn't. I went to some of these offices and did working interviews. I've hired the dentist there. I've hired the assistants there, and they can't tell me either. The only difference is that the more expensive one, they get more money. At number 3, not being honest about your options, not telling you that there are cheaper options. I used to work in Singapore for 6 years, which taught me a lot because it's very different than the US culture, which is where I'm working now. We had patients that were just very proud of their teeth, and they would refuse to take them off. They looked like they had gum disease, they looked like they were gonna break, they looked like they had all these problems. And I couldn't believe how well some of these teeth that look terrible would last and how long they would last. And so my point is, here in the US, we get trained that as soon as there's an issue, we have to address it and fix it and spend tons of money. And sometimes it's important to let patients know that some of these conditions, we'll see how it goes. You don't really need to do anything right now. At number 2, telling you false claims. Smile Direct Club, which is not a dental clinic, and they went bankrupt, was famous for this. They would state that they can align your teeth by just wearing aligners at nighttime. They told you could align your teeth in just 6 months, and this was just with aligners. Crazy talk. And there might have been 1 or 2 times somebody could do that. For but like the 95, 98%, it's not gonna work for. And so they literally were doing false advertising. And normal dentists do the same thing. They'll tell you you're gonna get a Hollywood smile, you're with Invisalign, it's only gonna take 6 months. And again, there may be patients it works for, but a lot of patients it doesn't. And all they're doing is basically trying to trick you, so you're going to pay. Which is so sad because you are trusting them as healthcare professionals. You are trusting that the dentist is going to be honest with you. And it just sucks that they're literally doing it to try to make a sale. And number 1, taking advantage of the most vulnerable people. Dental clinics are taking advantage of people living paycheck to paycheck. They're taking advantage of the old who might not be checking reviews and checking references. They're taking advantage of those suffering in pain and those that have gotten made fun of their entire life for some dream of something that they may never get. And those are the most desperate. And those are exactly who these dental clinics should not be taking advantage of. They get them to sign up for dental work that they cannot afford, and by taking out a high interest credit card, which they also cannot afford, and they miss payments, and so the interest adds up, it makes them even more broke and even makes them go more down the rabbit hole of suffering. When I tried to make this video, I started making a list of the problems. But the problem with that is the list kept growing and growing. Well, the good news, there are some good clinics out there. The clinic I created, the Smile Mission, is a low-cost clinic, does incredible work, and doesn't screw patients over. You can check out our reviews, you can check out our before and afters, you can check out our comments on Facebook and everything. And we have patients flying in from all around the country to our clinic. I know it might be annoying to take a flight to a dentist, but if you need a decent amount of work, it probably is going to be a lot cheaper, and at least look at all our reviews and everything, that you're going to get really high quality work at a very affordable price. So if you are interested, you can check out our Instagram, our website, you can give us a call. And as mentioned before, we do offer free online consults, we offer free in-person consults. And we'll put that all in this description. And I just wanted to thank all the other dentists out there that are doing the right thing, that are not overcharging patients and trying to help them. And I hopefully, with more of us, we can start helping make a change in the American oral healthcare crisis.